It's unclear in terms of the actual timeline, but North Korea is now expected to receive around 1.7 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine between February and May 2021, according to COVAX. This is a roughly 15% decrease from the previous estimate, which was around 2 million doses of vaccine, the AstraZeneca vaccines, actually. But maybe the number going down is because it used to be, the timeline used to be from February to June, but now it's from February to May. Considering 2 shots per citizen, the aid will be enough to vaccinate around 850,000 people, which is concerning because it's just a little more than 3% of the population.
Yeah. North Korea, though, continues to claim the country is virus-free. Can we trust that at all? Are they wanting these vaccines?
We can clearly see that North Korea does want this vaccine because they wouldn't have gotten it if they didn't ask for it. Also, there were rumors about other countries maybe thinking about helping North Korea with these vaccines. But when it comes to whether or not we should trust North Korea about the zero COVID-19 case claim, as I always say multiple times in this show before as well, the evidence is very thin. The only thing that we are seeing right now is the test numbers that used to come out from the WHO. But right now, for weeks now, WHO hasn't even reported on how many people were tested in North Korea. So everything is pretty much very unclear as well.
Yeah. We know that there are so many people who are in extreme poverty and almost close to starvation in North Korea. Now, there are serious concerns for a major food program. Why is there a chance that this is possibly going to be cancelled?
There were concerns over the past year if it would be realistically possible for humanitarian groups to maintain operation in North Korea. There have been a very strict restriction of movement in Pyongyang, and even, of course, going outside Pyongyang was almost impossible. And for these aid programs, it's necessary for them to check on the beneficiaries and monitor how the aid program is going. And with considering all these difficulties, recently, World Food Program stated that if food imports continues to be impossible for North Korea, they may have to even consider ceasing operation for 2021 in North Korea. And this is a serious issue because most of the beneficiaries from the food aid coming from World Food Program are the malnourished children or patients.
Well, the Biden administration, of course, has now sent a very clear message about its support for South Korea. There's to be a resumption of military drills between the two nations. How do you think North Korea is going to respond?
I can imagine they wouldn't like it because they already mentioned during the January Party Congress, Kim Jong-un said it himself, that the joint drills are hostile gestures towards North Korea. And by doing that, South Korea is going against the goodwill nature of the inter-Korean agreements that South Korean President Moon Jae-in and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un signed in 2018. And also North Korea said that United States doing these joint drills is also an act of hostile gesture. But North Korea would know that South Korea will have to do this, but they will be probably keeping a very close eye on how the South Korean officials are framing this, even if this is going to go ahead. Recently, many top South Korean officials were emphasizing how this joint drills will have to be downscaled, mainly due to COVID-19. But in the past, North Korea has already criticized Seoul for making pretense such as COVID-19 issue when scaling down and not fundamentally suspending the joint drills.
And what do you think the chances of any serious talks or any opening for talks between the US and North Korea now that Trump's gone and that big show has kind of left the stage? Do you think they'd be open to talking to Biden?
I wouldn't imagine anything like that happening in the next few months, even year. If we see Biden's top officials' remarks in the past month, actually, during which Biden administration has been doing the so-called North Korea policy review, they have maintained a very a clear message that they will do this something called principled diplomacy. They wouldn't be just meeting with Kim Jong-un or do any top-level meeting just because they want the negotiations to start again, but they want to see North Korea making some tangible move, showing the tangible intention to denuclearize. But until now, especially during the recent 2 military parades showing off these massive ICBMs and 11-axle TELs, it's not very clear from North Korean side either whether or not they are intending to denuclearize anymore. So if this sort of signaling goes on from both sides, I don't think either side will think of top-level diplomacy or talks as a serious option for now.
Indeed. Well, always good to talk. Thanks so much.
Thank you.